Have you ever heard of summer slowdown? Summer slowdown is a term used to describe slower than normal sales during the summer months. Most people claim this is due to people spending less time inside during the summer months and more time traveling and outside enjoying various activities with friends and family rather than sitting inside online shopping. You will also hear things like people are spending their money in other places, such as summer travel, vacations, and even different activities during the summer months. Therefore, they don't have the additional money to spend online shopping. In today's video, I'm going to share my thoughts about summer slowdown, 3 things you can do to avoid a summer slump, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share why the summer months are actually my best months all year long. Yes, even better than Q4. If you are a part of any Facebook reselling group, you will often hear people during the summer months complain about slow sales and use summer slowdown as the excuse for their slow sales. But the truth is if you focus on customer demand, you shouldn't experience much of a slowdown at all. In fact, I don't experience a summer slowdown at all. It's actually quite the opposite for me. I do agree with the sentiment that people during the summer months are traveling more, are spending their money in different locations, and are not online shopping as frequently as, say, during Q4. However, if you focus on customer demand and follow the trends, you shouldn't see much of a dip in sales at all. And if you are seeing a huge decrease in sale during the summer months, I highly suggest that you take a look at your store's sell-through rate and what you are selling and adjust accordingly. The bottom line is if you pick up inventory that customers actually want, or even better, they actually need, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. They are going to buy it, regardless of if they're spending money on vacations, whether they're traveling, or they're not spending as much time online shopping. If the demand is there for the item, there's always going to be a customer that needs or wants that item. Now, obviously, you have to do everything else right. Creating a great listing, creating a great title, taking great photos, and offering great customer service. But at the end of the day, if you're selling items that customers want or need at a reasonable price that most people are willing to pay, they will buy these items throughout the entirety of the year, regardless of if they're traveling or if they're on vacation. There will always be a customer demand for items that people actually want to buy. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this rule. If you are a niche down seller that only sells Christmas items, of course you're going to see a decrease in sales during the summer months. However, if you're someone that sells golf apparel, you're actually going to probably see an increase in sales during the summer months and a slowdown during the winter months. So at the end of the day, if you're a niche down seller, it all depends on what you sell. Just because you're niche down doesn't mean that summer is going to be your worst months. Q4 could actually be your worst months if you're a niche down seller that's selling, say, flip-flops and shorts. Those items are going to sell the most during summer. So summer will become your best months and Q4 will be your slowest months. So don't just take advice that during the holiday season is when you're going to make the most money and during the summer you should expect limited to no sales. It just depends on what you're selling, the mix of your inventory, your pricing strategies, and what your customer demand is. Let's break down the 3 things I do to prepare for the summer slowdown. Number 1, I am willing to sell anything. I think being an everything seller has its advantages and disadvantages. However, when it comes to slow periods, nothing beats being an everything seller because you are willing to adjust to the trends in the markets. Now, just because I'm willing to sell anything doesn't mean I throw my sell-through rate, my size requirements, and my profit margins out the window. I still follow those rules because those rules make sure that I'm running an actual profitable business. However, being willing to sell anything means that I'm not locked into one category or one style of items. I will sell whatever the customer wants given the time of year. If the customers want purple sneakers this time of year, I'm going to go out and find purple sneakers, buy all the purple sneakers, and sell them to the customers that want the purple sneakers. I am actually going to become the best purple sneaker seller on the eBay platform. However, if in 3 months from now the trend changes and people want red boots, I'm not going to continue to sell purple sneakers. I'm not going to say, oh, customers want red boots, but purple sneakers have always worked for me, so I'm too proud to change my strategy. I'm really good at selling purple sneakers. I don't know anything about red boots, so I'm just going to continue to sell purple sneakers over here. That's absurd. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever think that you can trick the customer into buying something that they don't actually want? If the customer demand is no longer for purple sneakers, but rather red boots, I'm not going to just sit there and try to continue to sell purple sneakers. I'm now going to shift my whole business and I'm going to become the best red boot seller on the eBay platform. I'm going to take what I learned from purple sneakers and I'm going to translate it the best I can to the red boots, and I'm going to go out, find red boots, and sell red boots. It's that simple. It's following the customer demand rather than being too proud and saying, well, I've always sold these items. These items have always sold well for me. I don't care what the customer wants. They'll come back and buy it later. I over purchased this inventory and now I'm stuck with a bunch of purple sneakers. No, when I start to see the trend slowing down and the price is coming down, I want to get rid of those purple sneakers because I don't want to be the one stuck holding purple sneakers while the market shifts to red boots. I personally find that a lot of resellers I talk to become too proud of what they buy. They say, oh, well, I only buy these items. I've been buying and selling these items forever. And they won't look at what the customer demand is actually for. Think of a store like Best Buy. Best Buy used to sell CRT TVs, and they used to be really good at it. That was the place you wanted to go to get the best CRT was Best Buy. However, once the customer demand went to LCD TVs, Best Buy didn't continue to sell the old style of TVs. They moved on. They went out and purchased LCD TVs that the customers actually wanted and became the best at selling those style of TVs. It doesn't mean that you have to pick up your whole niche and move to something else, but it does mean that you have to understand what the technology changes are, what the seasonal changes are, and adapt accordingly. So in Best Buy's case, they didn't double down on CRT TVs. They didn't say, you know what, the customer doesn't really understand the new technology, so instead we're going to order twice as many, we're going to run sales, we're going to offer the best customer service, and we're going to trick customers into buying these old style TVs. No, they did a fire sale. They got rid of the CRT TVs that nobody really wanted anymore. They got rid of all that inventory so that they were able to bring in more of the actual new inventory that the customers wanted, and they focused and grew based on selling the next item. This happens every year, whether it's the iPhone, a new video game system, a new pair of sneakers, or a new clothing trend. Whatever it is, stores don't continue to sell the old products. Instead, they have fire sales to get rid of the old products so they can make room for the new stuff that customers actually want. And we have to do the same inside our eBay business. Are you holding on to inventory that was good at one time and no longer is selling anymore? Why? Discount it, get it out, and go get the items that the customers want today. It doesn't matter that they wanted it last year or last week. We have to see what they want today. Number 2, I focus on trends and stock accordingly. For me, this means during March, I'm looking for shorts and golf apparel. And during the fall, I'm looking for jackets and pants. I know that the customer demand is coming, so I want to follow these yearly trends and stock accordingly. This goes for everything. This means that I pick up running sneakers in the spring and winter snow boots in the fall. This means that I look to buy and sell more video games going into Q4 and more sporting equipment going into the summer months. The trends are there. And of course, I'm not going to pass over a good video game collection in the spring just because it's far from Q4. And I'm also not going to pass over a good baseball glove just because baseball season just ended. I'm going to pick up good inventory year round. However, I know the trends and I'm going to stock my store according to the trends. So this means coming into the summer, I want to be heavy on shorts, summer apparel, running shoes, and sporting equipment. And going into the fall, I want to be heavy on jackets, pants, skiing equipment, and video games, things that sell well during the winter months. If once again we go back to major retailers, think of Home Depot. When you go into Home Depot in September and October, you probably say, wow, I can't believe they're already putting Christmas items out. Why are they doing that? They're doing it because they know the customer demand is coming and they want to be the first ones to market. They don't want to be following their competition. While I'm picking up shorts and golf apparel in March when it has a really low sell-through rate when you look it up, I'm doing this because my competition is skipping over these items because they're still in the mindset of it's winter, where I'm in the mindset of spring and summer is coming, so I want to stockpile this stuff before my competition gets there, so I have the most inventory of the items that the customers want over my competition. Home Depot, Walmart, they all do it. They all compete to put their items out as early as possible so that the customer comes to them if they're the ones wanting it, and they have the most supply of it when the customer demand shows up. And this can go for anything that you sell, whether you're a niche down seller or an everything seller. It's super important to understand the trends. If you search for Sorel snow boots during July, you're going to pull them up and say, you know what, these aren't worth picking up because they have a super low sell-through rate. However, the professional reseller would know that these items will fly off the shelves during November and December. So if you're willing to pick up those boots and wait a few months, they will actually sell super fast, even though they have a low sell-through rate in July. The second part of this is understanding when the time is to get rid of these items. I don't want to be carrying shorts in my store going into winter, just as I don't want to be carrying winter snow boots going into summer. So what does this mean? This means that I put those items on sale. I'm not looking to carry this inventory. I'm having the fire sale, just like Best Buy did with the CRT TVs, and they got rid of them all so they could bring in the items that they want. I get rid of the items seasonally the same way. So I'm going to discount all of my shorts going into winter, and I'm going to discount all of my snow boots going into the summer. These items sell year round. You can sell snow boots in July and you can sell shorts in January. However, it's more difficult, and those customers are looking for deals and they have more choices to choose from. If you want to make those rare sales, you have to discount the items to get those items into the customer's hands. And every time you get rid of a pair of snow boots going into summer, it gives you more space and more money to go out and purchase the shorts, the golf apparel, and the sporting good equipment so that you're the most prepared for summer. Before we go into number 3 and talk about why the summer is my actual best sales months, yes, even better than Q4, I wanted to thank everyone for the support on this channel. During April, I experimented with uploading 2 videos a week, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday, and I'm going to be continuing that trend going into May. April was my best month on YouTube for views and subscribers, so I want to reach out and thank every single one of you, whether you liked the video, whether you watched the video, whether you subscribed to the channel. All of this goes a long way in helping me continue to make these videos. Making these videos on YouTube takes up a lot of time, and it takes away a lot of time that I can be reselling. And trust me when I say YouTube does not pay nearly as much as reselling pays. But I enjoy sharing this information with all of you. I enjoy reaching out to you guys in the comments, helping you out, whether it's you guys sending me messages on Instagram or through my email. I enjoy helping all of you, and I want to continue making these videos. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to anyone that has used my Amazon affiliate links and to my first channel member. The money from my Amazon affiliate links and my channel membership goes a long way in helping me continue to create more content. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Whether you are hitting that like button, subscribing, clicking my Amazon affiliate link, or joining as a channel member, all of this will continue to help me make more great content for you guys. Number 3, yard sale season. The summer months are actually my best months on the eBay platform throughout the entire year, and it's all because of yard sale season. Yard sales do not only allow me to purchase inventory at typically lower price points than, say, at the thrift store, but more importantly, it helps me find better inventory. Now, yes, you can find great items at thrift stores, and you can even find some pretty awesome gems at thrift stores. However, yard sales, you are more likely to find better quality items to resell. Most people will donate items to thrift stores. However, most people aren't going to donate high value items to thrift stores. So those high value items, instead of ending up in a donation pile, they end up in a yard sale pile. The people still don't want these items anymore. However, they know they have a value to them, and they know that they can make a little bit of money on them. These are the items I'm looking for. I'm willing to pay up for these items at yard sales because they're such great items. It's much easier at a yard sale to find an item and pay $20 for it and turn it into $100 or $200. That's pretty rare to do at the thrift store. At the thrift store, I'm more likely to find an item for $5 and sell it for $25 or $30. I would much rather spend that $20 at the yard sale rather than that $5 at the thrift store. The disadvantage to yard sales is it's a huge numbers game. You have to go out and you have to hit as many yard sales as possible. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of gas money, and it ties up your weekends. If you're not willing to go out yard selling on Saturdays, it's going to be very difficult to find yard sales throughout the work week. However, if you're willing to go out on Saturdays and Sundays and hit the yard sales, you can find better inventory at even better price points. That's why my sales during the summer months are actually higher than during Q4, because I'm picking up better inventory at better prices. I'm more likely to find a big video game haul out at a yard sale and sell that quickly on eBay during the summer, rather than finding a video game haul at the thrift store. And if I do find a video game haul at a thrift store, I'm more likely to have to pay up for it or have to compete with a bunch of other resellers inside the store. However, at yard sales, it happens pretty frequently to find these killer items and spend 20 and turn it into 200. If you guys are interested in learning more tips and tricks regarding yard sales, let me know down in the comments and I'll make a video breaking down how I find yard sales and what I'm looking for at yard sales, and maybe even negotiating at yard sales. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. And if you've enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love this one, so go ahead and give it a click.